All right. Happy Tuesday. So just how the calendar falls, how the cookie crumbles, if you will. The end of first semester is very fast this year. We've got this week, we've got Tuesday of next week, and then it's finals already. Okay? So today we're going to go over for the first mod. We're going to review probably the first mod and a half-ish. Review graphing sine and cosine functions. Then we're going to start curve fit, okay, which is basically graphing a sine and cosine function just in reverse. You're looking at the graph and you're getting off of that the equation. Okay? Tomorrow we're going to do some more curve fitting. Thursday is going to be your test, and your test is going to be 6 graphs and 1 or 2 curve fitting type problems. Okay? But the 1 or 2 curve fitting type problems have like some other stuff in them. Then on Friday we're going to start reviewing for the final. Next week Tuesday we'll continue reviewing for the final, and then your final, if you have Mr. Roth, is next week Wednesday, day 1, period 1. If you have Mrs. Hill or I, it's day 1, period 3. So Wednesday, period 3, or Wednesday, period 1. Those are the 2 times that we offer the final. Both of those offerings will be upstairs in room 341 to 343. Okay, which is one of the corner rooms. I don't remember who's in that particular room. I'm not even going to speculate. I think it might be Healing, but Mr. Healing, but I'm not sure. Okay? So we've got that. Okay? Okay? At the end of class today, then, we're also going to take a formative assessment on graphing sines and cosines, just to get you back into that. And then I'm also going to hand out, after you're done with that, I'm going to hand out the section 4.4 review assignment for Thursday's test. Okay? So lots of stuff going on today in the pre-calc. Yeah, sure. Just, doing stuff here. Okay? So from before break, we were busy talking about the 4 different changes, transformations, I think is a better way to say it. The 4 different transformations of a sine or cosine curve. Okay? Or the first lap, the graph, the first wave. Okay? So our A value, that number out in front, the coefficient, if you will, of the trig function, bless you, of the trig function tells us the amplitude. Okay? That's how much it goes up, how much it goes down, the sine or the cosine curve function. Okay? So that tells us how much goes up, goes down. Okay? Side note, you'll need to be in your own notes for this part right now. We'll get to the sheet in a minute because we'll have 2 graphs coming up here right now. Then we went on to talk about a B value. And with our B value, that sets our period. That sets the horizontal length of the first lap, of the first wave, if you will. Okay? And so we say for that, we have to have 2 pi divided by B. Then we went on and we added in a C value. And our C value tells us where the start of that first lap wave is. And we think oppositely on that one. And because it's inside a set of parentheses, and anything inside a set of parentheses in math, we think oppositely. Okay? So we're looking at C, we're thinking oppositely, so it starts at x equals C. And the last one then is we've got a D value, and that's a number that might come way at the very end or quite possibly come right at the beginning. Okay? It's not inside the parentheses of the trig function. It's outside of all of that. So it's either way at the beginning or way at the end. Okay? And that value shifts the middle up and down. That's our vertical shift. Okay? So we talked about all four of those prior to break. So then we said, well, let's graph based off of that. So here's our first graph for today. So again, we want to get it, if it's not already, we want to get it into the form of y equals, in this case, a sine of b times the quantity x minus c plus v. We want to get it into that formula if it's not already. So looking at inside the set of parentheses, do we have an x minus c part, or do we have to do some factoring first? Is the very first question that you need to ask. Do we have it in this exact form with the b and the c and the no? So we've got to get it in that form first. So if I do that, then it would look like y equals 2 times the sine of, I would factor out a negative 1/4, which would then leave me with x minus what? Pi minus 4 pi. Then plus 3. Because when, in my brain, when I do this multiplication right here, I've got to get pi back. Okay? So negative 1/4 times 4 pi gets me the pi. Now, even more so, okay, now I can use my identity. One of the identities that we have on our identity sheet says that the sine of negative x is equal to negative sine of x. So I could really write this as y equals negative 2 times the sine of negative 1/4 times the quantity x minus 4 pi. Oops. Correction, I forgot to take the negative sign out of positive 1/4. Then plus 3. Now, that then becomes what I am going to graph. So based off of that, let me here move this so it makes it look a little nicer, a little prettier. If I based off of that, give me one of my pieces of 9. What do you got? Amplitude is 2. I would concur that the amplitude is 2. Middle is 3. I would concur that the middle is 3. If the middle is 3 and the amplitude is 2, what is my high and my low? High is 5, low is 1. Which means my range then goes from 1 to 5. Fill in the easy one. All real numbers for my domain. Those are all the easy ones. Now we've got the start. Where does this one start? 4 pi. What is the period of this one? 8 pi? How'd you come up with 8 pi? 2 pi. So if I start at 4 pi, and it takes me 8 pi to get a full wave, where do I end? 12 pi. Okay, now, even more important question. Sine. Normally, a sine would start in the middle, top, or bottom. Middle, and it would go, normally it would go up, middle, down, middle. Right? Okay? But a negative a value tells me I start where? Top, middle, or bottom? Middle, bottom, middle, top, middle. So for me, when I'm doing this, I just draw that part in first. Draw your graph in first. It makes it much easier. Oops, that's backwards. I just realized that too. Looking at your face, it's exactly opposite of what I had said. Which is good because I didn't like it anyway. I like it much better. Okay? So it looks like that, right? Okay? Now, we know that this point right here is at 4 pi, right? Which puts my verticalness somewhere over there. Because my range starts at 1, that puts my horizontalness down there. So this would be 4 pi. This out here would be 12 pi. Halfway would be 8 pi. Half of the right half, half of the left half. 6 pi there. And what over here? 10 pi. But you said 6 instead. My verticality, I would start, or I would be, my lowest would be at 1. My middle would be at 3. And my high would be at 5. Just like the 2 worksheets that you have from this unit so far, just like that one, on Thursday's quiz, you will be asked to graph the function, and you will be asked 3 of the 9. Yes, sir. Just random. Yep. Yep. Randomly generated 3 of the 9. Okay? Questions on it? With that being said, then, here is this one. Graph me that one. I'll give you a few minutes to graph it. If you kept the +2 out front, that's fine. But if you wanted to, when you rewrote it, because you got to factor out 1/2, you can rewrite it like that. They mean the exact same thing. Mean the exact same thing. Okay? So based off of that would tell me, well, my domain is all real numbers. My middle is at 2. My amplitude is 1, which means my high then becomes 3. My low becomes 1. Puts my range from 1 to 3. Everybody good with that so far? My start is -6 pi. My period is 4 pi, which means my end is at -2 pi. Cosine starts off on high, middle, low, middle, high. Normally, but a negative a value flips that over, so we're actually going to start low. Go up to high, come back down to low. Horizontally, we would be there. Vertically, we would be in there somewhere. One, 3, 2. Then horizontally, we would start at -6 pi. We would end at -2 pi. Halfway would be -4 pi. Half of half would be -3 pi. Half of the other half would be -5 pi. Yes, sir. You have vertical axes over there?
Well, I just have like the numbers. Like I draw it out like that.
I would mark that wrong because that means that this.
No,
I know, I get that, but that's your axis. I would change it. I would put 0 where I would put it at 0 where 0 is supposed to be. Okay. All right. Everybody good on that? Love it. So today, what we're going to do then is we're going to take a curve and we're going to make the equation out of it. So if I have a sine curve, from that sine curve that I have, and I would have, numbers over here, and I would have a number here, and I'd have a number down. Oops, I'm wondering why I'm going 3 on that. I'd have a number, and I know these numbers, and from that I can find this number right here, which would be my middle. And why is my middle important? It's which one? A, B, C, or D? It's D. Okay? So we need that. What else can we find based off of just those 3 numbers over here on the side? The amplitude. Why do we need the amplitude? That's A. So this value in here, that's A. Or this value down here, that's A. So right there, just off of that, you got 2 of the 4 things that you need. Okay? This number right here, because it corresponds to there, that number right there, that's my start. And what's my start? C. Right? Because we can slide this left and right wherever we need it to be. And then, based off of this, that's my period. And so I set that equal to 2 pi over b, and I get my b from that. Okay? So with that being said, now on the sheet that you picked up when you came in today, try and find me the equation of the top graph. We'll go find me, you want to go sine or cosine on the first one? Sine. So find me a sine equation for the top one. Okay? Go for it. So find me a sine equation for this one. Let's get the easy ones out of the way. What's my high value? -4. What's my low value? -16. If my high value is -4 and my low is -16, what's my middle? -10, right? Okay. And this is my D value. Change it, get it in the right column. Okay. If my middle is at -10, what's my amplitude? 6, right? Because that's the distance from my middle to my top would be 6, middle to my low. So that would be my A value then, would be 6. So far, we're at 6 sine of something -10. Right? Okay. Where do you want to start? Well, it's because sine starts in the middle, right? So my starting choices are here, 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 or here. Those are my starting choices. Which one do you want to start at? This one? That one right there? Okay, so that would have a C value of -1, correct? Which means that in here, then, that's going to be x plus 1. If I start here, to get back to the same position, that means I would end there. So horizontally, how long is that distance? That's a distance of 12, right? Okay. So 12 then is going to equal 2 pi divided by b. which means 12b is going to equal 2 pi, which means b is going to equal 2 pi divided by 12, which is pi over 6. With me? Now, here's where the crazy things happen. That's not the only sine equation for this same graph. We could start here. We could change this number right here to be negative 11. Then I would be starting right there. And I would go that way. We could make that one be, we got positive 12? No,
No, 13.
positive 13. We could make it be positive 25, negative 23. All of those. As long as there's a 12 gap in between, we could have all of those. Right? Here's the crazy thing. I could make this be negative 6. Right? But if it's negative 6, then I've got to start there. Because now I'm saying we're going down to start for my sine curve, which would be at minus 5. Here's the nice thing for you. You only got to come up with one of them. It's our responsibility, me, Roth, and Hill, to make sure that we know all of the other ones. Okay? You only got to come up with one of them. Okay? So with that being said, what I would like you to do now is, I would like you to now come up with a cosine curve for the second one. So now we want a cosine curve. You come up with the cosine curve for the second one. Middle at 2. Starts at 6. That's one of them I get. I'm guessing the majority of you found that one. Agree? Okay. Changes that could be made. This could be here instead of minus 6. It could be minus 14. It could be plus 2. It could be, and then again, then add or subtract 8 to those two to find the next one. Okay?
It's not required.
Nope. Again, that's my burden that I have to bear. So if you wanted to make it plus something, you can. But if you want to make it minus something, you can. I got to come up with all of those numbers in my head. Okay? other one, if we wanted to, this could be -5 cosine of pi over 4 times x, but now we would start at the bottom, so then that would be -2. And then, or this one could be here -10, or -18, or +6. Okay. All those weeks. Okay. Tomorrow, what we'll do is we'll do the back side of this worksheet that we gave you, where we give you a data set, and then we come up with a sinusoidal curve to go along with it, and then answer some questions about that. Okay? All right? So, for right now, what you need out for the formative is you just need out a pencil. Okay? Maybe something straight if you need to. Well, you got them before break, so yeah, see, right there. Okay, and then when you're done, yeah, we'll talk about that.